everyone, this is Katie and this is my life with VEDS or Vascular Ehlers-Danlos Syndrome. On this video, I'm going to talk about my recent experience with an iliac artery dissection, which happened because I have vascular EDS, and that's pretty much all we know. So I had this iliac artery dissection while I was in the hospital for a renal artery dissection, which happened in November. An artery dissection, I've talked about before on this channel, happens when the inner layer of an artery tears and, creates like a flap or clotting or pseudoaneurysm or all sorts of like stuff like that that can block blood flow basically or disturb the blood flow or cause an aneurysm in that artery. So the iliac arteries branch off of the aorta, which is like from the heart down through the abdomen. So you get down to like the bottom of the aorta and it kind of splits out into these iliac arteries that kind of around your groin area. And then they eventually turn into the femoral arteries in your legs. This iliac dissection happens about maybe 5 days into a hospital stay. I don't quite remember the day, but it was an incidental finding on a CTA that I had for intense pain while I was in the hospital with this renal artery dissection and kidney infarction, which I talked about in another video. I personally think it was because my pain was unmanaged and my blood pressure was higher than normal, but sometimes with VEDS, we see these like cascade of events in the hospital, and that's pretty much what happened to me. I went in with a renal artery dissection and kidney infarction, and while I was there, I had this iliac artery dissection in my left leg or left groin area, and then I also had a gallbladder attack and then another instance of left flank pain, which I thought was another artery dissection. So it was just kind of like boom, boom, boom. And sometimes that happens with VEDS and they don't really know why that happens, unfortunately. So for whatever reason, I had this while I was in the hospital. I didn't feel it at all. It was totally, like when they first told me that I had this iliac dissection, I was like, I don't believe you. Like it's not on the radiology report. It's still not on the radiology report. And the resident was telling me, and I was like, I just want to see the scan. Like I'll wait to hear it from the doc. But yeah, it was there. And the doctor told me that I might feel it when I was walking around, and I just started getting up and kind of walking around and doing laps in the hospital because my pain was finally under control with the renal dissection, which took a while. And it was, I'm like, doing like 1 or 2 laps around the hospital floor. And they said I might feel it as like claudication pain, which is where, when you don't have enough blood flow to a limb and you're using that limb, like everything starts to get like really painful and tired and crampy really quickly. So they said I might feel that, and I sure did. It was a complete difference from the day before when I didn't have that iliac dissection. I was doing like 3 or 4 laps around or something at a time, and my friend was there when they told me I had this iliac dissection. That was new, and that I might feel it, and we did a little walk around, and I couldn't get through 1 lap in the hospital without like feeling like my whole leg just starts to like cramp and get really tired and achy, and it's painful, but not like a kidney infarction painful. Again, I don't know why it happened. It just happened while I was in the hospital. And that's, I'm already on baby aspirin twice a day. We didn't add anything. We didn't go in and fix it. They didn't go in and fix it because I have VEDS and that kind of surgery could be more dangerous. So the plan was to like go home and continue to walk on it and push through it, which will eventually kind of force collateral blood flow to the leg. They told me based on the ultrasound that the blood flow was about 50% blocked, so that I basically have like, at rest, I have enough blood flow to my leg, but when I start walking or using that leg, then because I only have like 50% of that iliac artery open, it restricts I don't have enough blood flow to support the activity without that like really severe aching. So they told me the way to work through it would be continue walking until it felt like really achy and painful, but not so much that I was crying or something, and then just stop and wait for it to, calm down and get the blood flow back, and then do it again. So I started doing that after I got home from the hospital. I could hardly make it up and down the stairs at first because we live in a house with like 2 stories and a basement. So we have a lot of stairs in this house, and I couldn't walk from like the house to the end of the alley, which was something before I was walking, easily a couple miles a day, and that was not a problem. And now I couldn't get to the end of the alley. I became super, super depressed about this, and I'm going to talk about my mental health probably in another video, because since this whole event, it's been a hell of a recovery for mental health wise. Like physically, I'm relatively stable. Like other than not, I still don't have full blood flow to that leg. Like I still have some claudication pain, but my blood pressure is under control. I'm not in any renal pain, like kidney pain. Other than when I use the leg, it's fine. And I can walk further than what I could before, which is great news. I've been working at the gym, going on the treadmill and walking on the treadmill, and I can get up to like 30 minutes now, maybe stopping once. It'll start hurting within a minute or two of starting walking, but I'm able to push through it longer than I was before. It's just been a waiting game, which is frustrating as somebody that used to be active and be able to use my leg. That's been like a whole different mind game of dealing with this. I do feel a little resentful about my iliac dissection. I really, really thought it was because my pain and blood pressure wasn't under control at the hospital. And I'm saying, like it was higher because of the renal dissection, but it was still within a normal range for somebody else. My blood pressure, though, is normally in the 90s over 60s, and it was in like the 130s over 80s and 90s while I was there, and that was definitely higher than my normal. So we'll never know. If you have VEDS and you're watching this video, you know that these events can be like just really a mind game because you're not doing anything to cause them. It's just like bad things just keep happening to you because you have this condition, and it sucks. It really sucks. So if you're out there with VEDS and you're watching this video, I'm sorry that this has happened to you too. I'm sure you've dealt with your own slew of medical things, and it's exhausting to keep going through it. That's my iliac dissection. I don't know that I have anything else to share at this point. I think I'll do a health update soon that'll combine some stuff, and then, do a real talk with Bella soon. Yeah, thanks for watching, and see you soon.